3, but it gets real cold in the fall. That's when the season start. Bucs come in 40 hard. Win after win, ripping the division apart. Panthers, they pussycats. Falcons got bird flu. Take the Ravens and Dolphins and open up a zoo. Cause one thing's for sure, better than the Bucs, they show lane. No way. And every day in Tampa Bay, we say fuck the Saints. We in Tampa Bay, baby. 813 going crazy. Tampa, boy. This Bucs podcast be the greatest. Loose cannons blasting on them haters. And we in Tampa Bay, baby. Tell them where you from. 813 going crazy. Yeah. This Bucs podcast be the greatest. Loose cannons blasting on them haters. Now when I say the loose cannons, what? Do you know what I mean? I'm talking Bobby Latte, Stank Bastard, and
What is up, Bucs Nation? It is Tuesday, November 26th, the eve of my birthday. And you are watching the Loose Cannons podcast. I am your host, the Samar Ali, joined as always by my intern, Stank Bastard. What is up, Stank? The Buccaneers go up to New York and they deep fry a little Tommy Cutlets, man. It was an awesome day. It was fun. They gave you what you asked for, Stank, which was not just a win, but a complete bukkake-based ass-whooping in New York/New Jersey. MetLife, one of the worst stadiums ever made, worst turfs ever built, put on, the NFL. Amazing day, great victory coming out of bye, great momentum, great energy, all of it. And now we could finally put on the dusty, but still there, waiting for us, victory shades. Stank, what's up, man?
Yeah, they're dusty. I had to search around. I found these underneath the table in the back corner. There was some fucking fruit flies on it and some spider webs. Had to dust them off. Yeah, glad that, because we know everybody in the building watches our show religiously, and I think the message was sent. This can't just be a victory. It can't be some kind of, oh, we beat them 9-0. No, they were intentionally trying to lose. They benched their quarterback. They put their third string quarterback in. Their fat coach, who's just, I don't know what it is about that guy. I don't like him, bro. I don't know why. I don't like Dable. Just don't like it. So I'm glad that we took care of business. And I'm not going to sit here and glaze the team. They should have won. They did won. Our quarterback.
They did won.
Just put his nutsack. What do you call it? Teabagged.
Yeah.
That entire franchise. Really, I wanted to see if I could make AI give me an image of Baker with his balls out climbing the Empire State Building, but I just didn't have time to do it this week because that's really how it felt. We actually just teabagged the whole city. So fuck New York, fuck everybody in New York, and we won. We won.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what, Stank? 30-7, great day. The Bucs defense got themselves a little bit on track. How good that actually made them look going against a team like the Giants. Obviously, there's a little bit of that, but it's good to see them come out and do what they're supposed to do and dominate a team that they are clearly superior. They got 4 sacks. They played ridiculously well up front, in my opinion. They helped the secondary more than people realize with the pass rush. Kalijah Cansey looks like he's starting to scratch the surface of what this kid could actually be. Vita Vea is just an alien amongst grown men, which is insane. He's just a massive human being. We saw Yaya Diaby getting out there having fun. The guys on the edges were screaming after those tackles. You could clearly see that the tackles were backup, not NFL type starter guys. And it was good to see our defense actually make a team like that look the way they're supposed to look. We've seen it tons of times. The backup quarterback, the backup tackle, the backup guard, the center, yada, 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 look good against us. And this is good to see them do that, get back on track. But it was fun to see them hitting some guys, making plays, Mike Edwards, a little bit under the radar in terms of his effect in this game, played well, in my opinion. Gave Todd the ability to go in that dime look that we've talked about for months. They go into the bye, no surprise coming out. They go dime a lot in that game on Sunday, and it was effective. It worked well, and they were on a roll, man. I mean, I think they had held them to what? Put the screen up here. 45 total first half yards. That's crazy, dude. That's insane. They couldn't move the ball, the Giants. They made Tommy Cutlets look like Tommy Salami, as JC called him on the internet, on Twitter on the weekend. Stank, how'd you feel about that performance, starting with Vita all the way back?
Did they let Vita back into town? Because he should have been brought up on charges for what he did, that poor Giants center. That wasn't fair. It wasn't funny. That kind of violence shouldn't be allowable. Like, we can't hit anybody on the field anymore. You can't hit the quarterback anywhere. Like, the box is right here. You got to hit him like right in the sternum. That's the only thing that's allowable and legal. But Vita Vea is allowed to do that to another human on the football field. Disgusting. But they let it fly, thankfully. Him and Cansey right now, they're just slapping ass. They're having a good old time out there, and they should be, because that's about it on the defensive line. Can we talk about the elephant that's in this room right now? Because I know everybody feels the tension. There's a lot of tension in here, Sam. Do you want to go full screen and apologize to me now or later?
Why?
Levante David, bro. Levante David.
That's what you
just Levante.
Apologize to you. He's
you
clearly slowed down.
Not to me.
He's slowed down. He's still slowed down. It doesn't matter what he did against the Giants.
Apologize to Levante. You don't need to apologize.
Me and Levante are straight, dude.
I don't think so.
He told me to say that. He told me that. He's like, I need something to fire my ass up a little bit. I'm starting to get bored being as good as I am. And I'm like, hey, listen, as a friend, Levante, I can't just paint rainbows and sunshine and blow up smoke up your ass. I'm going to tell you straight up, hey, man, when your breath stink, I'm going to tell you breath stink, because that's a real friend, right? When you got a booger hanging, you want your friends to tell you got a booger hanging when you're at the club or at the bar. So I told, hey, listen, Levante, you got a booger hanging. You're out there kind of slow. Doesn't look like you know how to cover guys anymore. And Levante took it to heart, came out there, punched that ball out all over the field, doing Levante David type things. I mean, if anything, you should be thanking me. You should be patting me on the back. I should get a round of applause, to be honest. I should be getting a round of applause for what I was able to do to get more out of Levante than Levante was currently getting out of Levante himself.
You might be onto something there. I know for a fact that they watch like Lou's videos in the locker room. Jason's come out and said that. And I'm pretty sure after the tone that we had going into last week's game, our podcast, they probably showed it to the whole team. Maybe disrespect is what this group of guys needs. Okay, because with respect comes failure with this team for some reason. As soon as people start just giving them any love, giving them any credit, they play like absolute shit. So I'm not impressed. Only 30 points against that team. Only how many sacks? Like 3 or 4? Not enough. Not good enough. Yeah, not good enough. Not good enough. You called for 7. They only got 4. Underachieving is the feeling I got coming out of that football game. Wasn't comfortable up 30-0, by the way. Were you?
Really? Yeah, I was very. That game.
Anybody?
That game was out of hand and completely in control. At no point did I feel like that game was not ours to lose. From the very beginning, it was never in question. From the very start, the Giants won the coin toss. And considering their record and how terrible they played at home, they decided to kick it to a top 5 offense and let them start. Got the momentum rolling, moved the ball down the field almost effortlessly. But back to the defense before we go shift over to the offense thing. You talked about Vita, and did you hear what Kalijah said yesterday in his Zoom press conference that he had with the media? He was almost like he's still in awe of Vita Vea goes out there and does these things to other men, grown men. Yeah. Okay, of their size, by the way. The offensive linemen, when I say grown men, that's like with quotations, because they are huge human beings. He said he does that while he's laughing. He's not even angry. He's like, I can't imagine what Vita could do to somebody if he's angry. He's like, his mind's not even in the game. He's laughing about something else. He's joking in the huddle. And then he goes out there and just moves a man like he's a fucking feather into the quarterback. I mean, do you see that one play where Tommy DeVito thought he had a chance, and he just kind of casually grabs him and says, where the fuck you going? And throws him like a fucking Woody doll from Toy Story and just knocks him.
No, it's like your kid who goes to grab the candy at the grocery store. Like his hands are about to go in that little pick'em candy thing. You just snatch the life out of him. That's what Vita did. And no clam slammer. We're not ignoring the chat room. Hello, chat. Hello, Jonas, with your 700 comments. Hello, B-Shuck. Yeah, I have a problem speaking today. Why are you bullying me? Hello, TB Buck. We don't know if Shaq Barrett's coming back yet. Who else? Guru, my dude, what's up? Everybody else, King Cook, Bry, Bucks by 30. All y'all better hit the like button. And like I say all the time, get on your mom's phones, get on your girlfriend's phones, get on your side pieces' phones, and like and subscribe to this show, this particular channel, because our numbers just aren't good enough. They're not.
I expect a lot more subs and likes from some hosts.
Yeah.
Like we definitely need more host subscriptions. I think so on this show for sure.
Yeah, bro. Christmas is coming. I cannot afford to buy my wife nothing because I don't see any super chats. How am I going to pay for all the expensive shit, all the expensive weed that my wife likes to smoke? Who's going to pay for that?
That's why you got to have a farm, dude. You're not doing things right. All right, let's move on. Baker in the offense, I touched on it a little bit. Very efficient. They ran the ball pretty much however they wanted to. And you know what I really liked, Stank? We called out the wide receivers without Mike Evans. We called out Jalen McMillan. We called out Trey Palmer. We called out Sterling Shepard to an extent. And they showed effort and they showed up. They made catches. They made catches when they had opportunities. They weren't wide open all day, but when the ball was thrown to them, they caught the ball. Jalen McMillan, huge third down conversion on the very first drive. I believe it was the very first third down of the game. Massive. We haven't seen him do anything in fucking 5 weeks, it seems like. Trey Palmer caught a ball.
We didn't see him again after that. That was it.
I get it, but we saw it. Baker completed a pass to 11 different wide receivers in the game, which is when people say eight different wide receivers caught a pass, that's a massive one. 11 is unbelievable. So that means he's comfortable. Mike Evans had somewhat of an effect on the game. Good to see him back out there. They leaned on the rushing attack. Obviously, Bucky did his thing. They used Rashad. They used Sean Tucker until he fumbled and nobody saw.
Whoa. You can't just say, Bucky did his thing.
No, Bucky did his thing in a good way. Like
hell of a football game.
Awesome. Okay. That's what I'm saying.
He had a hell of
That's expected
we
from
need
him.
To stop and commend that game because that was a hell of a showing by Bucky. That guy's out there doing shit that a lot of guys in this league can't do. Rashad had some incredible plays, leapfrogged the man, looked like LeGarrette Blount part 2 out there, had some nice catches in the passing game. Sean Tucker forgot how to hold on to the football. And I honestly think you lose your privileges after that, Sean. Back to the bench.
How about nobody seeing that fumble other than Baker?
Yeah.
Heads up play. That could have been Giants ball. All of a sudden it's not 14-0. That's a massive
they could have
swing.
picked it up and ran it the other way and nobody would have even noticed. So yes, that was huge.
Big play there. And then let's give kudos to Skule, a guy that we've been hating on for a little bit. Kind of gave us props last week. He came out. He's clearly a better backup left tackle than he is a backup right tackle. But what a great game plan from Liam to kind of make sure he's not exposed. He did his job out there. He didn't get owned by these good edge rushers and Brian Burns and the other cat who I believe they just put on IR today. So, yeah, the offensive line did their job. They got rid of the ball quickly, didn't let Baker hold on to it too long just in case, and then they ran the ball down the Giants' throat. They did whatever they wanted to do on the ground, which is great to see. Mike Evans coming back out there, like I said, good effect on the game. Still think he was kind of feeling his way back a little bit, and I think they took it easy with him. Really smart way to do that. I don't know if they went down the field too often with him in terms of like those go routes, but he had a pass interference call, got us down in a 1 yard line there. Just very efficient day from the offense, and Baker did exactly what this team needs Baker to do, which is take care of the ball, move the ball in terms of the chains, keep us going down the field efficiently, and make sure we end it with touchdowns as opposed to field goals. Exactly what you want from a guy.
Yeah, Baker with his feet work in the pocket. It gets better every season that he's on this team. Where footwork and feet work is where you start, right? It's Todd keeps on talking about fundamentals. It starts with your feet, as everybody knows. And Baker bailed us out several times with those feet. And you know what? Good game by Baker. Good game.
Yeah, he extended drives, used his legs at the right time, like you're talking about, man, and kind of finagled the pocket, negotiated his way around. Sometimes there was pressure, sometimes there wasn't. I feel like it didn't feel like he was really in trouble a lot of times. And he had that massive one when we were down at the 2 yard line after an absolutely ridiculously stupid decision from Sean Tucker to take that ball out of the end zone there on the kickoff. But for him to scramble out of his own end zone, turn that into a first down on third down, and then we go down the field. Just Baker's doing everything he's being asked to do and more, and putting this team on his back. It's awesome because they're kind of starting to take on his identity. He's an offensive lineman out there. And how about seeing him down there, dude, running like Jack Sparrow in front of Bucky, trying to find someone to block, turn around, headbutting the fucking guy. Dude's a dog, dude. He's just such, it's so just contagious watching him play ball. How do you not want to play with a guy like Baker Mayfield? Like, this guy's going to bring free agents in the offseason. Watch.
I want to play. Well, I mean, Levante in an interview today with Flatbutt K. Adams was talking about how Baker makes it fun again. How Baker makes you want to go out there like, like you're like a kid. He said, when I first started playing football, the reason you do it is it's fun. You're out there with your boys. You're out there trying to dunk on people. And Baker brings that type of enthusiasm to this team that kind of needs it in a way. Without that, boy, I think we'd be in trouble. So, he is that leader that this team lost when Jameis left the building. And it's just really good to see a guy like that pick this franchise up from the doldrums where it was at before he got here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's something to say. Like, he's really the most he's the firecrackers, whatever you want to call it.
You just call him a cracker?
Yeah, he's a firecracker on this offense. In that huddle. Think about it.
Firecracker of the week?
Yeah, we don't have a Ryan Jensen on this offense, really, if you think about it. We don't have I know they say Luke Gedicke's a glass eater. Cody Mock doesn't have teeth, but they're kind of like nice guys when you like really get to know them and you see them on the field. They don't have like a mean streak about them. Baker is basically Ryan Jensen and a quarterback mixed in together. And he does everything that Ryan used to do. He talks shit. He keeps yapping when he needs to yap. And you see when they they shoved him a little bit too hard into the bench on the sideline, and the entire offensive line ran over there to defend this guy. That speaks volumes, man. I know they're supposed to do that for their quarterback, but you could see there's a genuine love for this fucking guy. And he is the attitude of the entire offense. And that's no disrespect to Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and those guys, but he is the driving force of that attitude and that personality on that side of the ball. It's crazy because he's a quarterback, and usually those guys don't drive that. But it's awesome, dude. It's awesome to watch.
Without a doubt, he is. He not just for the offense, but I think just the team in its entirety. We don't really have those barking dogs anymore now that 45 left the building. So Baker's just the face of this team, the energy of this team. Even our head coach isn't really an energy guy. Bake is all of those things wrapped up into one. And I love the guy. And people gave JC Cornell some shit this week for saying that he's having more fun watching Baker than he did Tom. I didn't think that was a hot take at all. Tom was not fun, not a fun person, always serious. You can't argue with production, but just not my favorite. Not my favorite guy, not my favorite interview. I don't know. Baker brings something different to the table.
It's because there's a calm expectation about Tom Brady. Like, it's Tom. Right. He's just going to figure it out. Slow and steady. He'll just eventually get us over the goal line when we need to, and it matters the most, and we'll just win this game. You watch Baker, and you're like, holy shit, dude. He gets you jacked up to play. Like, you feel like you're going to go run behind him. Like, dude, Baker, hand the ball. Let's go, man. I'm ready. I'll block a wall, a hole through a wall, or I'll let you block. I'll run, whatever you want, bro. Like, he's the guy that's headbutting with no helmet on the sidelines, 100%, right? That's just who he is. He's flag planting motherfucking Sooners. Baker is the actual personality of, like, that's awesome. I can't, look at me. I'm jacked up right now, man. I'm ready to go.
Better to be jacked up than jacked off, or is it better to be, I don't know, continue. What about this game coming up, Sammer? How you feeling?
How are you just going to change topics without me let me change the topics?
I mean, every once in a while, I got to take the wheel of the show.
No, we're getting to that game, but we got to touch on two things that matter a little bit here. We lost two more starters on the injury front. Lost two more starters on the injury front. And to King Cook, not heavy on the Beijing and the beard this evening, actually. It's the light, and I just got in a cut, and it feels, and Zoom does this smoothing thing. It's a whole thing, whatever. Anyway, so we lost Jordan Whitehead. Initially thought it was going to be a season-ending surgery-required pectoral injury, which is pretty common with that injury. Ends up being that it's not. It's injured in a spot that does not require surgery, and apparently he could come back possibly by the last game of the season, or if we make the playoffs, and then we lose Joe Tryon-Shoyinka. We don't know for how long. He's got a sprained ankle. How big is that Mike Edwards signing looking now, Stank? Almost like they had a DeLorean. They kind of foresaw the future there. Tyke Smith is coming back this week, so you kind of slide him into nickel. Izzy plays in that dime package now with Antoine and Mike Edwards, and it's like, I think they're okay. They seem to be in a good spot with an injury for the first time this season.
It was a gift, a blessing, the universe, whatever. Something stepped in and gifted that guy back to us at the perfect time. And it's good to hear Whitehead's injury doesn't sound to be as severe as people say. Could still be regular season ending, but maybe not. You never know, man. Some of these guys heal quicker than others. And I'm just glad that all the people who reported it couldn't wait to be like, he's out, it's done, season ending. I'm glad they were all fucking wrong. So annoying when they do that and the team hasn't really officially even said anything. So, that's one of the things you hate about Twitter. You get some misinformation, but I'm glad it wasn't completely correct. And hopefully he does get a chance to get back on the field. Hopefully give him a reason to get back out there and continue to beat up lesser opponents.
So I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but he hasn't really been playing too well. So I don't even know how much they're really going to miss him. Maybe some of his play in the box. He's been missing tackles. I believe the longest pass play of the day against the Giants came off of him not paying attention to the guy he was supposed to be paying attention to, got caught looking in the backfield on, I believe, a play action fake, ends up giving a tight end a 34 or 24-yard gain. So he hasn't been playing great. So I don't even know if it's even that big of a deal, but you like to have more bodies than less bodies, obviously. Guy like that knows the system. He did play in that dime package, but again, Tyke coming back. You have Izzian, who I feel like you can trust in the middle there. You still got Antoine. You got Mike Edwards, who knows the system. He communicates really well, apparently. We've heard that all for the last week now. So, we're in a good spot there. And then Joe Tryon-Shoyinka not playing. Chris Braswell had more time on the field. I think it's time to give Chris Braswell more reps anyway. Let's see what we got in this kid. I feel like we know what Joe is at this point. He's out. Chris has a chance now to shine, maybe make some plays. Let's get this kid going. Might need somebody like that to kind of, start something on that edge rush and going into the playoffs. Might as well get him going now. So he has a chance to go out there and make some noise.
Yeah, really hasn't flashed necessarily. I think, what does he have? 1 sack this season. He's obviously in the rotation.
More playing time helps.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to have that ferocious energy out there, but I honestly haven't focused on him too much. You go back to Whitehead and really you can talk about everybody on defense. Defense is it's like baking, right? The recipe has to be perfectly right. If something's off a little bit, it's just not going to taste right. And with pass rush being the main issue, we're not getting real good pass rush from the outside, having to, again, create a pass rush by moving guys around, blitzing from all different angles. I think it fucks up everything, communication wise, not to mention we were playing with UPS drivers playing corner too. So you can't necessarily judge, Winfield and Whitehead and some of the vets out there. I feel like they're just trying to keep the ship afloat. And now that we're getting some of our guys back, it frees them up to actually go out there and not think like they have been. Offensively, obviously we're missing pieces too, but the strength is our offensive line, which has been fucking phenomenal this year. And we've been able to run the fucking football, and Baker's got some time to work the underneath game. So, and Liam has just been a savant. So it's different on that side of the ball, I think.
Yeah, but I don't know if you felt it too, but in this game, it didn't feel like we blitzed as much as we usually do. It felt like we just kind of let our guys do their thing. There were a couple blitzes in there, but Levante and obviously Winfield had a sack, so he was in there a couple of times. But it didn't feel like we called it too often, and we just kind of let our guys do their thing. And after the game, Todd said we buckled down on the fundamentals, the details, and it looked like they came out there and they, for the most part, executed more often than they didn't, especially recently. Obviously, that Jordan White had a couple of plays where Zion looked like he might still be injured, but kind of, gutted one out for the team because they kind of needed him to, which is commendable. But yeah, other than a couple little hiccups really in that third or fourth quarter when they finally gave up a touchdown, it's like, they looked better. I know it's the Giants going against a team like the Panthers coming in this week, Stank. It's possibly a trap game. I don't know. Because I don't
think it's a trap game. We need to expect that they're going to fight. They just went toe to toe with KC like we did a couple weeks ago. That game is meaningful for a lot of different reasons. It's a division game, so you shouldn't have to get up for a division opponent. You're going against our former offensive coordinator, and I'm sure he's heard it all and read it all. Clearly struggling and trying to save face over there. So this game's got a lot of undertone to it, a lot of underlying stories, and I don't think either team needs a reason to get up. This game is important for both franchise, and I think it's not going to be like it was last week. I have a feeling it's going to be one of those typical division games where we got to go toe to toe with these guys for a little bit.
We're a better team roster wise.
Yeah,
I believe we're a better team on offense. Their defense is kind of coming along. Their offensive line's starting to come along a little bit. They still run the ball very well, which is something that we've kind of struggled with. Bryce is, I don't know exactly what that guy is yet, but the Bucs winning the game in New Jersey / New York carries good momentum. It's a good little, kind of like that tune-up game you have in college in week 1, like they used to do. You know something about that as a UF fan, because you guys would always do that for some reason before actually playing an SEC opponent. But that's good momentum to have, because now you got a little bit of confidence.
How can you even talk shit this season? How can you even talk shit?
I'm always going to talk shit. Always. It doesn't matter. FSU sucks. I get it. But doesn't mean I'm not going to take a shot at you guys playing Louisiana Tech State every week 1, every single season. All right. We go out.
You would probably
play an LSU.
FSU would probably lose to Louisiana Tech State.
We might. You're right. Yep. We might. I believe we beat a team kind of similar to that name just this past Saturday, by the way. But I don't know how we scored. But it's good momentum coming out of the bye going into a game like Carolina. You want that. You want to be a little bit rolling on there. Team's feeling itself out. Good to get Mike Evans rolling a little bit, not too far, And then going into this game, like you said, division game, big one. I don't expect this to be an easy one, but I think if you get up on these guys, you should be able to put them away. I expect Liam to keep doing what Liam is doing. And let's see if Todd trusts the pass rush and drops his guys back and lets these guys do what they're better at doing, which hopefully, what we saw against the Giants is something that carries over.
Yeah, I mean, this is a weird one, honestly. It is a weird one. We know what Dave's got, but obviously he's going to try to cook something up. I think Bryce is playing with confidence. For the first time, he looks like maybe he's an NFL quarterback. I don't know. So we've seen him before. We've seen their roster for the most part. Chuba's having a good season, and he just got paid, and they really have nothing to lose. So they're going to continue to try to play spoiler for everyone. And I'm sure that would make Dave and that team super happy to put it on us and take us out of contention. So yeah, man, this game means a lot. It means a lot if we want to have any chance at winning this division, which everybody's now all of a sudden we're the darling pick again, and they're expecting us to win this division, which hold your fucking horses. All right. First of all, I don't want to hear that anymore this entire season until the end of the Saints game, fourth quarter. We're up like 75-2. Then we can start talking about
2.
Maybe
having it 2.
They get a safety, I don't know, Trask accidentally fumbles the ball, falls on it. He's out there trying to make a dynamic play because most of those points were Trask put on the board in this scenario.
Trask is stepping out of the back of the end zone.
Yeah, Trask steps out of the back. Bad snap by the rookie Barton. Trask kicks it out of the end zone. They get 2 points. That's kind of what I'm thinking if I pull it out of the hat. That happens, by the way. I'm for hire if y'all need fucking advice, lottery numbers.
In this game, and this kind of the next topic is I think the Bucs just need to focus. I liked how they kind of set up the run with the pass early on against the Giants. I think that's a good recipe to have. You could run the ball on this Panthers team. I think we have a way better offensive line than they have a defensive line. They don't have their big plug in the middle. He's gone for the year. Just run the ball, but set it up with the pass. Let it let it kind of develop and just kind of grind them off off their pride, off their confidence, whatever you want to give. Don't give them a chance. And then I think that Bucs kind of do a little bit similar to what they did against the Giants. Different offense. I think they can run the ball, no matter who their running back is. So the Bucs still got to be prepared. And Dave Canales, this is a big game for Dave. He's coming back. It's a team that hired him, team that gave him a chance. He's never called plays before. So he's going to have a little chip on his shoulder. He's probably going to be edging all week for this one. So, he's going to want to get his nut off. He's going to want to, really leave his mark on the couch, per se. And this is, you can't let him explode. You want to maybe hold it off as long as possible till the very end, hopefully. And I think the Bucs have a really good chance with that. Stank, what are you looking for in this game?
If Dave has learned not to just get crazy with it, right? You don't want to ruin this opportunity. You don't want to ruin marriages or relationships, right? You got to keep it in your pants, as they say, right? You can't just go out there and do whatever you want. Knowing that we already know what this guy's about. We already know all of his skeletons, his dark secrets, and ultimately we know how he likes to achieve things. So he's going to try to pound it right up our gut, right in our guts. Going to try to get it all up in our guts. And thankfully, our guts are tight. You got a guy like Beta in there. You got a guy like Cansey in there. Golston who can play the run inside. I don't see them pounding us down the middle. They're going to have to get creative. They're going to have to get Bryce outside a little bit because we're hungry. We feasted last week. Got a little taste in our mouths right now. I'm sure these guys want more. And you just got to, like I said last week, don't give them any hope. Come out and take it to them early on and just keep on throttling them. Like, you can't, bro. You just got to slap them around. You got to cuff them up a little bit. You got to slap them in the face. Right, you got to talk dirty to them and spit in their face, whatever you got to do. But you got to let them know who's dad in this particular scenario.
So, I've gotten it on. I have a source. Okay, Vita Vea and Kalijah Cansey will not be participating in their family's Thanksgiving on Thursday night. They will not be part of that. They will be holding off so that they can be properly starved for this Sunday game. So, question for you, Stank. Kalijah Cansey made comments. I don't know when these happened, but I believe they asked him about Bryce being in the NFC South, and he said, actually, he's got to play me twice a year. So he's already talked some shit about Bryce in the past, okay? We saw what Vita Vea has done to grown-ass men, how he just throws these guys around. Is Bryce Young a sitting turkey in this game back there behind that offensive line with these guys coming to town? Again, not having turkey dinner themselves, waiting until after Sunday's game to do so. Is Bryce Young going to be a sitting turkey back there against his pass rush, especially up the middle?
Yeah. You remember in the old cartoons, or you're not as old as me, but certain people in the chat room will remember in like Bugs Bunny or any of those cartoons where you look over and all of a sudden somebody would turn into a giant steak, right? Because you're hungry. Like they would just all of a sudden you're talking, but you're salivating and you see meat. That's going to be what these guys up front see, right? Especially if they don't partake in really what is probably the food holiday. This is the food holiday. We're a country of gluttons. Obesity is a problem, which is why it's in my rules every week that what is that? What is that? What?
It's a turkey.
What is that?
That's a Bryce Duckin right there. You ever heard of those?
No.
It's a Bryce Duckin, yeah. That's
kind of what Vita's gonna be seeing. Cansey are gonna see, and hopefully Yaya, who said he's in a diet. I heard in like a clip today that Yaya's on a diet, so you already know he's probably pissed off.
Yeah,
they're gonna be hungry when they see some of that on the field.
Yeah. Listen, bonus to anybody in the chat who can tell me where this turkey image actually came from.
B-Shuck should know.
B-Shuck should know for sure.
B-Shuck should definitely know.
So, yeah, listen, Stank. Recipe for this one's pretty easy. Get after Bryce Young. He's looked a little bit more NFL-ish.
Before you go further, we had a super chat earlier, so I'm going to interrupt you because if I don't, nobody will. Because Latte is out there delivering Christmas packages and Thanksgiving packages. So I got to be on the chat. Mac donated $5 super chat. Says thoughts on Falcons Chargers. We'll get to that at the end, Mac. Thank you for the $5 super chat.
We'll talk about it. Yeah. Yeah, just get after Bryce. He's looked a little bit NFL quarterback-esque the last few weeks. They went toe-to-toe with the Kansas City Chiefs, who I think took them lightly. They had trouble keeping Mahomes in the pocket. Mahomes' legs did function pretty well in that game plan, so Baker enjoys doing the same thing, so I anticipate he'll do that. But it all starts on the defensive side. Just get after Bryce, and I think good things happen.
Yeah.
How much better is he than a guy like Tommy Cutlets? Sorry. I don't know. We'll find out. He's probably a little bit better, but I think he's still limited, and he's small, and Vita's big. Kalijah Cansey's hungry. Kalijah Cansey talks shit, like I said. So just get after them. That's where it starts. It's going to be Todd Bowles' defense is going to have to kind of set the tone. And I'm not worried about the offense. I really do think we could take care of business on that side of things and just take them serious. I think the Bucs understand. They have their back against the wall type mentality. They seem pretty focused on it. They understand what's at stake and what's in front of them. And like the super chat mentions, the Atlanta Falcons do not have an easy schedule ahead of them. They are facing a couple. If they stub their toe a couple more times, the Bucs are right back in this. None of that matters if the Bucs don't take care of business, obviously. So that's the most important thing for the Bucs. Don't worry about the other shit. Do what you're supposed to do, and everything else kind of fall into place, hopefully.
I will agree. It's easy to schedule watch and say, well, they've got some tough games coming up. Every game is tough for this team because we're mediocre. And so you don't know which Bucs are going to show up each Sunday. And if they do lose focus and they do turn the ball over and it's a penalty ridden game and, they start, losing their fundamentals and not tackling all those shits, we can get beat by any team, and it's the fucking NFL. By the way, Bry with the correct answer. Sammer, do you got anything to give this guy away, or you just wanted to give out a high five?
No, you know what? We'll have to. I'll drop our email address in the comments after the show. And
Bry, that's the Kramer turkey.
It's a Kramer turkey. You nailed it. Yep. And we'll send you a discount code to get yourself a free shirt from loosecannonsmerch.com, which, by the way, because it's Victory Monday after a win, technically it's Tuesday, all week long, anything on the site, enter the discount code Victory Monday, and I believe it's 10 or 15% off anything you purchase on the site. So if you didn't win, it's okay. You can still do that. But whoever you are that won, we'll drop our email address in the comment section, and you just shoot us an email. I'll shoot you back a discount code and take anything you want from the website for free.
Westside Sports with the $4.99 super chat says, you must have forgotten who daddy is. I got to come out there and spank you, in quotes. He said, Baker Mayfield, that's the way the Bucs got to play versus Carolina. Exactly. We all know, like, in this division, it's Baker's division. The pieces might not be there, all the time. And this team's still trying to figure it out. I think we're still recovering from a salary cap standpoint. And I think and eventually we're going to reload and Baker's going to have a squad at all positions and some quality depth on the team. But for now, this is clearly Baker's division. So yeah, he's daddy, and he's going to show Carolina this Sunday. You got to teach him a lesson sometimes.
People forget, Baker might still have a little bit of a, chip on his shoulder towards that team because even though they gave him a chance, they also kind of fucked his career up and made him look a lot worse than I thought he really was. He didn't play well by any stretch of the imagination, but he was also surrounded by absolute dog shit. And I think he has a little hatred in his heart for the Carolina Panthers, which is great, right? And so he's going to be out there. He's going to be doing Baker type shit. It's going to be awesome to see. But yeah, I think a more important storyline, Stank, is are the Bucs going to be bringing some sort of server internet signal jamming technology to Carolina to throw off Pornhub's, accessibility in the building because of a certain head coach?
It's probably in his contract. If they were smart about it, there is no internet access in Dime Piece's office. Everything is, in binders on the wall. And if you need some information, they print it out. Because you can't trust a guy like that. As we know, as he told us, nobody needed to know this. And really, it was a teaching moment for him and his wife to write the book with Tony Dungy. And hopefully you guys can take what he did and his actions and better yourself in life. Well, thank you.
I mean, how slimy do you got to be? I mean, the guy left us, right?
What'd you say? Does everybody know I don't have pants on? Hell yeah.
I don't know if any of you guys in the chats actually thought we wear pants during any of these shows, honestly. There's a reason we don't have a full body shot most of the time. Actually, this shirt doesn't even go beyond my sternum, if I'm being honest. It's one of those little practice T-shirts, right, from football back in high school. So Jonas wants to count down the bots. All right, Stank. Some news came out today about Shaq Barrett, okay? Shaq Barrett filing paperwork to be reinstated from a retirement that he submitted right before the season started during training camp. However, at some point during the season earlier on, he said, if I were to come out, it would probably be for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He insinuated it. Kay Adams pushed him on it, basically put two and two together. It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers he said I'd come out of retirement for. He's coming out of retirement, it seems like. But, little thing here, past the trade deadline and the Miami Dolphins own his rights. Therefore, he cannot be traded unless the Miami Dolphins are very, 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 very nice and say, hey, yeah, here you go. We'll just cut you, release you. You can go do whatever you want to do. Go play for whoever you want to play for. I think it's a long shot, me personally. And two, no offense to Shaq. We let him go for a reason. That Achilles injury is not something that a lot of guys can come back from, especially these edge rushing guys. He's a little bit older as well, so he's not a young spring chicken. And on top of that, he's been sitting not in football shape for the entire season up to this point. We're in November. We're about to close out November. I think we're good. No offense. But curious to see or hear what you think on this, because a lot of fans are like, yeah, bring him back, bring him back, bring him back. It's not as easy as that, one. And two, what exactly are you getting back if you even get him to that point?
It's outside of our control. They can't trade him. If he gets cut, then somebody else can claim him. So a lot would have to happen in order for him to be able to come back here. It's a non-story. I get it. We'd like to have the good Shaq Barrett back. Who knows? This guy's, even if he's been working out, he's not in playing shape. Maybe there's a scenario where that does happen, where he does get cut and they do does pass through waivers and then signs here, but that's out of our control. And again, nobody's going to save us. I think we're where we're at right now. They haven't really been active in picking up guys. It makes sense from all accounts, but I don't personally see it happening. And I don't know that we necessarily need that guy, because I don't know that he's going to bring us the kind of Shaq Barrett production that he once did. There's a reason he retired.
Yeah, I mean, Vita Vea and Kalijah are kind of helping these guys look a little bit better than they really are on the side, on the outside. Yaya's real close, but he's still not really. I mean, that one that Vita Vea destroyed his human on, Yaya probably gets that sack if Vita does do what he's doing, because he was doing the exact same thing. So that's probably one rep there where he was dominant. But Yaya still hasn't been the guy screaming off the edge, getting that sack within 1.2, 1.5 seconds. So. And that's with Vita and Yaya doing what they're doing, or not Vita. That's with Vita and Kalijah doing what they're doing. So yeah, I just don't see a scenario in which Shaq Barrett from 2019 is just back all of a sudden. It's just not a thing, in my opinion. That's not being disrespectful. Love Shaq, always gonna love Shaq. He was ridiculous during his time here. Awesome find by Jason Light and the boys, bringing him in, making him prove it. He proved it, and he was a big part of winning that Super Bowl, big part of the actual Super Bowl run and the game itself. So. Yeah, no disrespect, but I think we're good. I'd rather just deal with the guys that we got right now, so which does say something, because they're not that great in my opinion.
No, but like I said, crazier things have happened, but that a lot has to happen for something like that to end up occurring. If it was pre-trade deadline, yeah, I think maybe you could see it, but the Dolphins might want to keep the guy too. So I think they have the same record we do. Maybe decides to get back on the field and take a swing with them, because, I just don't see it happening here personally.
TC in the chat says, first game that Yaya played 80% of the snaps. That needs to happen every game. I saw that, but I didn't see the other snap counts on the defensive line. I'm curious. I didn't feel like they were subbing him in and out too often. I did see a little bit too much Greg Gaines for my liking. But it is what it is. But yeah, I agree. These guys need to all play way more at this point. These games matter right now. We're basically in playoff mode. So yeah, Yaya should be playing as many snaps as possible. I mean, the guy that plays for the Eagles, I think he's gone like 120 or 114 straight defensive snaps before that he came out the other night when they had the lead. That's insane, dude. I mean, how are our guys not doing that? This guy's not any different than those dudes. So it's being done. Not, obviously 100% of the snaps, but it's out there 80%. That's what I expect from guys like that, especially if you're paying a guy like Vita. Kalijah Cansey's a young dude. He's only played in like 6 or 7 games. Like, come on, dude. Imagine what he could do when he's out there way more. I think he's way even more effective.
Yeah, I would love to, if we get Todd back on the podcast at some point, just talk to him about his thought process with the rotation. I'm sure he's going to say he wants to keep guys fresh, and so they're at their peak when they're in the game and things like that. But the problem is there's such a drastic drop off. I mean, you can't even compare Cansey and Vita to fucking, Greg Gaines and whoever else we decide to throw in there, next to him. It's just, there's no comparison between the two. And it's such a noticeable drop off, and offenses right away take advantage of it every fucking time. So I don't get it from that perspective, but whatever. Hard to shit on Todd this week. His boys went out there and got it done. Even with the lesser opponent, it doesn't really matter. They played their asses off. They're playing for him, and that's all you can do, right? His destiny could already be set. It could still be in his own hands. I'm sure he's coaching like it's still in his own hands. And, I'm rooting for this team to win, which ultimately means I'm rooting for Todd Bowles. And I'll never have a different perspective, by the way. There's some coaches I was yelling from the mountaintops to be fired, but I'll never root for this team to fucking lose. That's for sure.
So to that rotation point you made, if
Yeah.
it was like you had a 1A and a 1B and the guys
Yeah.
were as effective or even getting sacks and they were still, getting after it, and you just have this unit of these dogs constantly in there, kind of what the Eagles had a couple years ago, kind of what the Texans have a little bit when all their guys are healthy, Vikings a little bit too. But we don't have that. We have this like A team and then the freshman team comes in and you're like, dude, it is absolutely abysmal when they're in there. It doesn't matter what like order of subs they use on it. If they're doing 2 insides gone and 2 outsides in, whatever, it just doesn't work. I think if you sub in a guy here and there when it's one guy at a time getting a blow, makes sense, or you have a lead, I get it. But other than that, Stank, I'm with you, man. That rotation shit, it just doesn't work for every scenario for every single team. They just don't have good enough guys in both of those spots, man. I mean, I've seen enough of a lot of them, to be honest with you. So I'd rather just see Kalijah, Vita, Yaya, and I guess Chris Braswell at this point on the outside and let those guys do what they do. And obviously you got Golston, you got Hall, who those 2 guys have played pretty well, man, honestly. A lot of people shit on Hall, but he's done what he's asked to do. He's delivered sacks. He's kind of dropped off a little bit recently, but still he does his job. So I don't want to see Greg Gaines anymore. I don't know who 95 is. I don't know who number 97 is. Just stop.
Yeah, the problem with Logan Hall is where he was drafted. If this guy was a 3rd round draft pick, nobody would be questioning.
We'd be
his
applauding
production.
him.
Right. But the problem is he's a 1st round draft pick. So you expect a guy like that to be a force. And although he's shown some flashes here and there, he's not that guy yet. And it's one of those positions that does take time to develop. Some of these guys are kids when they come into the league, man. And it takes a while for them to get that grown man strength to be able to play inside against NFL offensive linemen. So
he's a younger Will Golston. That's all he is. And that's not a knock necessarily. It's just that's what he is.
Yeah, it's not. He's never going to be that quick twitch guy. And we've got inside guys that can do that already. Really, we're just lacking the production from the outside. Ultimately, that's where the problem is. And then, our depth on defense from the linebacker and the linebackers in the secondary is kind of been the downfall for this team this season. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that we couldn't really spend any money and we had to fill every hole with either a bottom tier free agent signing or an unrestricted free agent or a draft pick. And it's hard to build depth like that. You got to get real lucky a lot. And this is the fucking NFL, man. The difference between Jamel Dean and the guy behind him is an abyss right now. And it can't necessarily be like that. If you want to have sustained success, unfortunately, we've been bitten this year by the injury bug, and it continues now with losing Whitehead. So you're going to see fucking, hopefully Mike Edwards is going to, fill in more this week, and maybe the rookie comes back and see some reps back there. I don't know. I don't want to see Merriweather. Is he still on the roster? Or did he get cut?
No, I think this is the one spot where they're okay right now. But I think that injury to Bryce Hall in week 1 took a lot of wind out of that depth like when that happened, because they were kind of counting, oh, it's okay, we got that guy. He came in and he played well too, and he played well in the preseason. He played well when he filled in, and then all of a sudden broken leg, keep it moving, see you later, and you don't have, and you're like, oh fuck, we are absolutely decimated now all of a sudden in like 3 snaps. So that was a big one that they were kind of counting on. But again, going into this offseason, they have a little bit more money to spend. The Niners look like they might be ready for a little mini rebuild. I don't anticipate them bringing Dre Greenlaw back, who's just now coming back from his injury. That might be a cheap, relatively effective linebacker that the Bucs could possibly look at, bring in, play next to Levante. If Levante wants to stay, that'd be a good way to convince him to stay. Hey, we're bringing a guy like Dre Greenlaw to play next to you. All of a sudden, massive improvements, but you get an edge rusher, Stank. A lot of the stuff behind those 4 guys looks a lot different, because that a true edge rushing monster would make this defense look way better, regardless of how inefficient they are on the back end, because he would just be killing the quarterback almost immediately. And so imagine like a real edge rusher with a guy like Kalijah and a guy like Vita next to him, dude. That'd be unfair, and that could be a really good Band-Aid, but we're still in season.
We don't have one in the entire NFC South. Those guys do not grow on trees. We've been lucky to have some production from the edge here over the years, and a guy like Shaq, who kind of came out of nowhere, and you had JPP, have some real production. But those guys are difficult to find, and it's not because they haven't been drafting and looking. They've tried to get guys, and Yaya's flashed. here and there, but injuries have kind of, I think, set him back a little bit, and just overall not getting the production you want from JTS. And here we are. So you're not wrong. I think everybody would love to have that blue chip guy who can just wreck games, but
go get Micah Parsons, baby. Figure it out some way, somehow.
He's got to want to come here. He's got to want to come here, and that's a monster contract. Monster, the biggest contract. He'll be the highest paid defensive player in the NFL when he signs.
Tell me, if you're drafting 19 to 24 for the next 3 years, you're never gonna find one of him.
Dallas doesn't let him leave anyways.
They might not have a choice, dude. They might not have a choice. They can't pay everybody. He may not want to stay there. He's not a big fan of Dak. They're kind of tied to Dak. It's like, they might take. You saying they say no to 2 first-round picks on a team like that needs a lot of shit?
I
don't know. We'll see. Obviously, you got to have a guy who wants to give up 2 first-round picks. That's a Khalil Mack type trade that would have to happen.
This front office isn't getting 2 first-round picks for anybody.
You got to have to find an edge rusher somehow, man. I'm just saying. True. I don't think we're going to find in the draft because
everybody in the league would want him, bro. That's the point. Like he's
that's a premier position though, Stank. If you can get it and it costs you, it's not free, you go and fucking get it, man. That just, it'd be great. And I think it'd be worth it, and it would pay off in the long run, especially if you think that you are 1 or 2 pieces away from your defense being dominant. You can kind of buy time for that first-round pick and plus, if your first-round picks are not going to be great position anyway, you're like, I'm getting way more value with the guy who I know is a guy compared to what I don't know and what I'm going to end up with crumbs at that point in the first round. Yeah. So
it's fantasy football, and we've got more than enough time to talk about the offseason. We only got a handful of games left, and right now we got to get it done with the guys we have. Maybe you see a guy like Jose Ramirez get some more reps out there who hasn't seen the field, who does have that quick twitch out of all the guys out there. He's probably got the ability to flash and get to the quarterback the quickest. Problem is he's definitely not a run defender, and so he's probably going to be a situational guy. But we all hands on deck, right? Did they say how long JTS is going to be out for?
They haven't really announced it, so I think they'll kind of know more throughout this week. Again, I'm not too worried about that one. He does help in the run defense, but I think it's time to let guys like Ramirez and guys like Chris Braswell go out there and play. Let's see how good Chris Braswell can be when he's out there playing and getting his sweat on and getting more of a rhythm going. I think some of those guys sometimes need to feel their guy out and then start setting them up. It's hard to set up an offensive lineman when you're only getting so many reps and he doesn't see you enough to where any of that stuff can be stacked. I don't think he's great yet, but I think he has enough stuff there to build on. He's obviously just a rookie, so we'll see. It's a good learning process for him at this point. Played last week too. Let's see what he's got. We got one more thing.
Marquise Watts Jonas says Marquise Watts is healthy again. So yeah, that's another guy that's going to get some reps out there.
Super chat 499. Samuel, what are you paying Micah Parsons if he joins the Bucs? I mean, you're gonna have to pay him whatever the going rate would be for an edge rusher of that caliber at that point. And I think that you'd understand that going into it if you're trained for him. And I think he's worth it. So he comes in, he makes everything better for you on that defensive line, and then the locker room is really, really tight. They would be able to keep him in line. I don't think he's a locker room problem type of guy. I just think he's a young dude, and sometimes young dudes that don't have an older vet guy around them or a really tight locker room that can kind of lead him, they kind of tend to do what they're doing now, which is, I think he's a good dude. So go after him if you can. Obviously, pie in the sky type shit. Stank, before we leave.
Whoa. I'm not ready, bro. I have some questions for you, man.
Well, I was going to ask you what you were thankful for on this Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I was going to ask you, are you a Thanksgiving guy? Do you cook? What's your go-to? Your favorite holiday? All right.
Favorite holiday.
You cook, the wife cooks. How does it go down?
We all cook. All right. We all cook.
Family affair.
It's a family affair. Every Thanksgiving, I'm sitting there, patting my tummy. I'm thinking, man, we need to do this once a month. Like, we need to do Thanksgiving with the turkey, the whole deal once a month. Never happens, obviously. Too much, family shit going on and make it all work. But yeah, I'm a huge turkey guy. I believe in the classic turkey on Thanksgiving. Get the ham away from me for obvious reasons as well. But yeah, man, I'm a huge Thanksgiving guy. Massive Thanksgiving guy. The sweet potatoes, the mashed potatoes. I mean, this is the one day of the year that I don't mind what I'm going to eat. I will just eat whatever's on the table for the most part. Give me that turkey. You're a dark meat guy like I am, right? You're not I've had a good turkey that's got a supple breast, okay, to where you can still eat any part of it, but the dark meat is
bro.
A turkey leg, dude, it's pretty undefeated.
Yeah. Listen, no offense to white meat people out there, but I don't like white meat. I've never liked white meat. It's all been about dark meat for me my entire life. I don't know where it came from. I just enjoy dark meat. I do. It's just so much better, savory, just kind of melts in your mouth, makes you feel good. Nobody really
dark thigh.
gets
You ever had a
excited.
dark thigh? You ever had a dark
Yeah, all the time.
All
the time.
God.
All the
dark
time.
thigh is just, it is delicious. It was just always juicy.
Yeah,
falls
man.
off the bone.
Yeah.
It's a perfect texture. It's delicious, dude.
It is.
Jonas asked a pretty good question too. Pumpkin or pecan pie? And also, do you say pecan or do you say pecan?
No, I'm not a pecan pie guy. It's too
rich.
It's too like gelatiny. I don't know. Nah.
Yeah.
I'm good.
It's a fucking nut, dude. You're trying to make a nut into a fucking cake, like decadent sweet. Get the fuck out of here. That
you know
jello
what pumpkin
shit?
pie pecan pie reminds me of? What's that Greek dessert? It's like the sweetest thing you've ever tasted in your fucking life, bro. It's like that like paper crust shit that has like the nuts in the middle. It's the sweetest shit you've ever tasted, bro. Come on, somebody help me out here.
It's not Greek. That's Arab. You're talking about baklava.
Baklava. It reminds me of that. I just
it is nowhere near
too much.
Don't
too fucking sweet.
One, it's not
Don't
Greek.
like it.
One, that's Arab. Okay?
Well, I've never had it anywhere else other than the Greek restaurants.
Don't do that. Okay, yeah, because you're uncultured swine, dude. That's what you are.
That's fine.
And yeah,
sorry,
pecan pie.
they didn't teach me about where fucking baklava came from in American school systems. I apologize to everybody out there, all you baklava people. My bad. Fucking bad.
TC nailed it. Stank is racist. 100%.
Because I didn't know. Because I culturally misidentified a pastry, and now I hate that race.
It's so white of you to just like throw it out like, oh, it's not my fault. I don't know where it's from. It doesn't matter to me.
You like pizza? You like pizza?
I like pizza. Who doesn't like
pizza? Do you
like
pizza?
Yeah, I like pizza.
Where did pizza come from?
Who gives a fuck where it came from? I eat
exactly. You don't care that the Chinese invented pizza. You just
what? Excuse the what? Whoa,
the Chinese invented.
No, they did not invent pizza.
I heard it. I heard that somewhere on the internet.
No, dude. You listen. You listen to podcasts that talk about UFOs and presidential conspiracy theories.
No politics.
NASA and all that kind of shit.
Yeah,
so they're probably telling you, the pizza was invented by Chinese people, right?
That's what I heard.
Yeah,
that's what I heard.
No,
right.
Stop.
Listen,
Cut it out.
But before we go, Mac had a question earlier: Falcons versus Chargers. We got to answer this question because he donated us money. What do you think in that game? How are you feeling? Go.
Chargers coming off of a tough one last night. Kind of a short week for them, but they are a tough team. That's a Jim Harbaugh team. They don't usually lose back-to-back games. I think they're going to be focused. They're going to be upset that they lost that game, and they're going to take it out on the Falcons, who I think are not a very good team right now. They're just not. Kirko absolutely looks like an old man outside of 2 games this season. I don't have to tell you which 2 games those are. Yeah, I think the Falcons are going to have their hands full against a Chargers team that is physical, can run the ball well. I mean, they didn't look very good last night against the Ravens, but they are a very physical team. They play tight defense. They run the ball well. They're a physical team on both sides of the line of scrimmage. That's a Jim Harbaugh team. And that's kind of the recipe for beating the Falcons, in my opinion. So I think the Chargers are going to help us out. We're going to be rooting for Jim Harbaugh this week for sure. And the Bucs got to take care of business. And the next thing you know, we're tied up with the fucking Falcons. Obviously, we got the 2 games that they beat us in, but hey, keep stacking them. Let the other stuff fall where it falls, and I think we'll be in a good spot.
Fuck you, Cali Bucks. First of all, go ahead, clip it and ship it. I'm not Tony Hinchcliffe, bro. You can try to cancel me all you want, bro. I'll be here next week. I promise you. All right. And you know what? I don't need to get along with an answer. Fuck the Falcons. That's always the answer. If you donate you $5 and you ask me who I think is going to win a game when there's an NFC South opponent, fuck them. Fuck the Falcons. That's always the answer. I hope the Chargers just shit on them. Just shit on them. Actually shit on them. Like, I want to see somebody take a shit on a Falcon.
Mudfish Matt just shit my pants. He said, I just shit my pants on the pizza Stanks at Jim. No idea. You made him shit his pants, which you do often, by the way. People believe it or not. So you didn't answer my question. What are you thankful for on this Tampa Bay Buccaneers football team this year?
Baker Mayfield.
And then give me your score prediction, because we're not going to be back the rest of this week, guys. We're taking much needed break. All right, we just had a bye week. We're not fully rested. We're gonna have a lot of turkey, like we're talking about. Stank, go ahead. What are you thankful for?
I took my apron on to come and record this podcast. I'm already cooking in there. like a homemaker. I'm in there. I got the noodles cooling. Anyways, I'm thankful for Baker Mayfield because I think we'd be a really lost franchise right now with a guy like that coming off of what we did, through the Brady years. Like the fact that we've got this guy here is something we can't take for granted because most of my life we've had no franchise quarterback. So I love the guy. I do. He makes me excited to watch the Bucs, regardless of what our record is, because I feel like he's out there fighting, and so that's what I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for that guy, and thankful for all of you guys, except for Cali Bucks. Jonas, appreciate the gift. I'm never going to drink out of the cup because you keep on asking. Just so you know, we're never going to drink out of the cups on camera.
Never.
Ever.
I'm thankful for, man. I'm thankful for Liam. I'm thankful for Liam Cohen. He looks like a guy that you would invite to Thanksgiving dinner, right? He'd show up in a nice suit, probably a bow tie guy. He looks like a bow tie guy. Probably not really matching too well in terms of pants to shirt.
Definitely not. Sweating. Right?
Probably sweating while he's eating. Yeah, he's got a little bit of the thing going on with the eyes, and but he'd be a good guest, right?
Hold on. What do you mean he's got a couple of things going on with the eyes?
Thing going on with the eyes.
Something going on with the eyes?
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine what his lazy eye would look like when he's had a little bit of turkey in him? It's like
it might float a little further.
Yeah,
right?
It might be going way out. Yeah,
when that tryptophan hits.
Yeah, but he looks like a sweet potato pie guy, right? He's coach at Kentucky. That's a sweet potato pie state, in my opinion. I'm a sweet potato guy. Are you a sweet potato pie guy?
Of course, I like that's all my wheelhouse, bro. I like sweet potato, like pumpkin, like yams, all that shit. Give them to me.
Yeah, fuck the pecan pie nonsense, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not actually a really big pie guy, to be honest with you. There's not a really, like, pies are not my go-to. I'm more of a
pumpkin pie, sweet potato pie, and cheesecake. I guess you'd call it pie for some people kind of refer to it.
I think cheesecake's its own thing.
But but other than that, yeah, apple pie, blueberry pie, all that shit can go fuck all that shit. I'm not a big pie guy either. Yeah, I'm with you. The weird filling is what fucks me up. I don't like unsolid desserts. Like liquid in my dessert or Jello-esque type textures. It's not a dessert.
You know what though? There is an exception to that rule. Are you a crumble guy? You like a little crumble?
Love a crumble.
See,
I'm a blue cheese guy. Of course, I love a crumble.
I know, but I'm talking about like a sweet crumble, like a cobbler or something.
Huge cobbler guy. That's the exception. Absolutely massive, dude. Is peach cobbler acceptable at on Thanksgiving?
Yeah. Oh yeah. All the cobblers are welcome. All the cobblers are welcome. What about like the healthier sides? What do you like any of the healthier sides? Vegetable sides, greens, green beans.
Yeah, green bean casserole I could fuck with. I could do a green bean casserole. Get the cranberry shit away from me. That's nonsense. I don't believe that shit at all.
Cranberries are outside of the juice, which I can do. I'm not a big cranberry guy either.
Nah, yeah, cranberry sauce, that's the Gerald McCoy of sides. It's like, it's too much. It's too loud. It's way more boisterous than it actually brings anything to the table. I just don't like it. It's an overdrafted side, in my opinion. Not necessary. Never going to bring you a championship.
That's a perfect analogy.
Yeah.
Talked about way too much.
Way too much.
Like what? You're not important. You don't bring the meal together necessarily. Your production's not there. Yeah, maybe I don't know, like you come out of the can and just one big glob, you don't look appetizing, right? You think you're better than you are. That's a perfect clip this and send it to Gerald, by the way.
Yeah. Gerald, we think you are cranberry sauce.
You're always welcome on the show. Always.
All right. So who on this team is a turkey leg? Mike Evans. Mike Evans is a turkey leg on the table, right? Yeah, for sure. 100%.
Definitely. He doesn't even need to whip it out. He's bringing the leg to the table, right? The guy's a turkey leg. He was drafted as a turkey leg. He showed up as a turkey leg. He's been a turkey leg every single game that he's been on this roster. It's organic. It's delicious.
Are you
love a guy like that?
Are you a greens guy? Are you collard greens?
Fucking love collard greens.
Nah, I'm not a big fan. Love them. Not a big.
Gotta be vinegar based. Gotta have a nice kick. Gotta have a little, some pork surprise in there a little bit. Yeah, I love collard greens.
Obviously, you're a mac and cheese guy, right?
Yeah, I am. Not only am I a mac and cheese guy, I make what I've dubbed the $100 mac and cheese.
Delicious, by the way. I've had it. Unbelievable.
It's stupid. I'll tell you right now. I call it that because I buy the finest of ingredients, and So I am a mac and cheese guy, but only on Thanksgiving. The rest of the year, I don't really fuck with mac and cheese.
Do you bring out the famous Stank cornbread for Thanksgiving?
I don't.
Okay.
I should, but I don't. But I'm already responsible to cook the turkey and the mac and cheese, so I can't do a third dish. It's just too much.
Traditional baked turkey, or are you a fried turkey guy? Are you a 2-day cooked turkey guy? Are you cinnamon brine like Latte was doing last year, making a weird cinnamon apple pie turkey? Yeah. He's trying to overthink shit.
No, this is where I'm going to lose a lot of people, and some of you guys might be like, "Holy shit, that sounds delicious." I do a Cuban style turkey. And what I mean by that is I bake my turkey and then I completely bone it, take the meat off, the white meat, the dark meat. And then I put it in a pan and I put adobo and mojo on it. And then I rebake it and it's very similar to how you do roast pork, which you've probably never had before. But it's different. It's moist. It's delicious. And try it out. It's excellent. It's different. I get it. It's not that carved.
I like my turkey. I love fried turkey. Don't get me wrong. I've had it a couple times. I'm not the guy doing it, so it's just not my wheelhouse to do it. But most of the time, I've got the classic magazine cover home magazine turkey right there with the fucking all the artistic shit all over it on the fucking table. Looks phenomenal. All the shit around it. Mac and cheese, obviously. The mashed potatoes Stank. How about mashed potatoes?
Yeah.
Like actually real mashed potatoes, not the shit out of a box, you fucks. Okay, and don't bring me that scallop nonsense either. That's garbage.
Yep. Correct.
Mashed potatoes made with the gravy from the actual turkey, though. Right?
That works if you're a gravy guy. That works.
Now we're talking. Yeah, I don't like
real mashed potatoes. I'm
gravy.
talking about 5-star steakhouse where they use cream and butter, and it's like the
using the ricer to really grind that shit down.
Yeah, it's just like the stupidest, creamiest mashed potatoes. I mean, potatoes. There's not really a bad potato dish. I'll eat scalloped potatoes. I'll eat potatoes in pretty much any form. But I like a high quality mashed potato. That's for sure. Not what your aunt makes. Tell her to leave that shit at home. And potato salad, fuck you. It doesn't belong. It's not a Thanksgiving dish.
That's not a Thanksgiving dish. What are you talking about? That's a picnic dish, man. That's a cookout dish.
It's not. Listen, whoever brings potato salad to your event, it needs to have a sit down, a talking to. It needs to be slapped around a little bit. It's not a cookout.
No.
Don't bring no potato salad to Thanksgiving.
Potato salad is served cold because you're eating it in the summertime. It's outside. You put it next to the watermelons on the table. That's just how it works. It's a cookout food. That's why it's served cold. If you are bringing a food to Thanksgiving that is served cold, you are absolutely bringing the wrong food. Stank, we have forgotten one thing, though, man. All right. I forgot to tell you, there's something unique about my Thanksgivings. All right. We got the turkey, we got the sides, but we also do a leg of lamb. Okay. With the rice and the almonds and the parsley coming out of it, traditional Arab style type shit. So we got the turkey here and we got a giant fucking leg of lamb. All right, this thing is.
I'm assuming that you have a leg of lamb at pretty much every single.
You ever had it for breakfast?
Never had lamb for breakfast. No.
You take a piece of that lamb, you put it on some toast, throw some fucking orange juice on it. That's breakfast. That's right, orange juice.
I'm not opposed to good meat during breakfast. I don't need to have a dessert for breakfast like most Americans. I don't need all that sugar in the morning. I wouldn't mind a good.
You look like a French toast guy, though.
Oh, fuck yeah. But I like breakfast for dinner. If I'm going to eat like that kind of shit, I like waffles for dinner, like French toast for dinner. I don't make it very often. My wife makes great banana crunch pancakes. They're delicious. So every once in a while, I'll have some pancakes.
Not a pancake guy, not a French toast guy. Turfucking. Or Bryce says turfucking. It's a turkey. Inside that is a chicken. Inside that is the drunk uncle while everyone waits for the cops. Okay. Lamb is big with the in-laws too. Not too bad. Hey, before I forget, hit the like button if you haven't already. And hit the subscribe button if you guys are new. Leave us your score predictions as well as what you are thankful for on this team and what your favorite fucking Thanksgiving dish is. Stank, let's end this show with a couple of score predictions. You've been pretty spot on last 6 weeks, for being honest. I think I nailed it last week. Pretty damn close. I think I said 31-9, ended up being 30-7. So it's right there, 1.5 points type of thing. What What's your score?
Well, I alluded to it earlier. This is a divisional game. Both teams have a lot to prove. It's the battle of the ugly offensive coordinator versus our ex, who's a dime piece. So, behind the scenes, I know Dave's heard it all, right? He already knows he's been replaced by a bad bitch. We were talking lots of shit. It's constant. He's blocked half of our fans, which tells me that he reads our shit.
He does.
So I expect it's going to be a slug match. And it's going to come down to like the last couple minutes of the game. It'll be tight right up until the end. Score prediction, if I had to pull some numbers, out of the air, Bucs 31. The Ravens are going to score some points this week, but the Panthers also are going to score some points this week. And 12 just seems like a good number. 31 Bucs, 12 Panthers.
Yeah, I think, listen.
Hey, real quick, before you give your prediction, can I see that turkey again, bro? That thing was amazing. That thing was it looked great. It looked great.
That's a delicious looking turkey right there.
Yeah, look at that thing, man. Look at that. Our linemen should be salivating when they see that. So go ahead now. Give us your prediction.
So I think Dave is the hot girlfriend that eventually the dude has had enough of her shit, right? Mm-hmm. He sends her fucking packing. And then the girl after her isn't necessarily as hot or even as pretty, right?
Not even close.
But she's always home on time. She does everything that he wants her to do. She's respectful. She's supportive. She's there to pick him up when he needs. She's there to bring something to the table that's got more than just I look pretty, look at me, buy me stuff. Like she's a real human being. A little harder on the eyes possibly, but she's a real human being, right? And he values her more because she's a real human being. And then, the pretty ex-girlfriend gets a little fucking pissed off. Like, what the fuck's what's he seeing in that thing? That thing, she's not even close to me. Little does she know she's got personality. That's what the difference is. And that's what Dave's going through right now. We got an ugly new girlfriend in Liam Cohen. And when I say ugly, I'm saying that very fucking, I'm being nice, okay?
Hideous.
But hey, he fucking puts a hot meal on the goddamn table. Right?
He does.
He's supportive.
He puts out when he needs to.
Never says no. Okay.
Every week.
Every night. Okay. Yeah. Even when we don't have everything that we're supposed to bring to the table, he's still out there making magic happen. Okay. And that's what more could you ask for in a significant other, right? And so
you grow out of it. Like of course, you shop with your eyes. You shop with your eyes, and then once you get a taste of that type of relationship, you realize. Not for me. Not for me.
Yeah.
No.
You got to be a special kind of dude, and not in a good way, to kind of deal with the hottest of the hotties who are bringing nothing to the table personality-wise, okay? So anyway, all that to say that Dave's going to come out there. He's going to be thinking too hard. He's going to be edging all week. He's going to be trying to stay away from his addictions, okay? He doesn't want to fall into the trap. At the end of the day, he's just going to be too wound up. He's going to overthink it. He's going to put his offense in a position that they're not going to be able to come out of, and the Bucs are going to ultimately come out of this game, continue rolling, and make sure that people know, hey, we are not the fucks that you think we are. We are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We are supposed to win this game. We are going to win this game. We're going to keep this train rolling. They're going to score 30 points again. I'm going to go 31-13. Kyle Trask makes an appearance in this one, boys.
Whoa.
He's playing in the fourth quarter. I think they want to make sure that Baker doesn't do too many Baker-esque things. And they're going to be breaking bread. They're going to be having Bryce legs on the sidelines on the defensive side of this one. This is going to be a fun one. It's going to be over early, in my opinion. Not going to last too long. 31-13, Tampa Bay Buccaneers continue on 2 in a row and getting ready for the next one and hopefully win 7 straight games here to get into the playoffs and win the South. I really think we got a chance, man.
They're going to need to. It's playoff started last week and so far so good. They just got to show up and keep throwing, man. Listen, I'm ready for food. I'm ready to sit down and be a glutton. I'm going to be way, way fatter on the next episode. I'm just going to let you guys know. Way fatter on the next episode. Yeah. Most of you guys are as well. I think everybody in the chat room right now is probably fat. If I'm allowed to say that. So, it's okay. It's okay.
They all probably identify with obese or overweight. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, which is why every week it's a rule because I care about you guys. It's time to get healthy.
Mudfish Matt says, I believe he's talking about the Liam Cohen analogy. Liam's probably got big tits. kind of ugly in the face. You know, a little hard to look at sometimes. Probably looks better as you've had a couple more beers or drinks. But he's got big tits. Liam looks like a big tits guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever that means. I agree.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Learned something new tonight. Pizza came from the Chinese people. Thanks, Stank. J-Rod, don't tell anybody that at Thanksgiving dinner. They're going to laugh at you. They're going to tell you you're an idiot. They're probably going to accuse you of shitting your pants twice.
Make sure I listen. There was a correction to my list this week. Thanks Breeze Overrated for pointing out just an obvious flaw in my list this week. Porn is absolutely on the menu. Watch as much as you can. As soon as this episode's over, I need you to click on whatever hamster.
We need to overload those servers so that a certain coach cannot log in and get his regular joints, right? We got to make sure that he can't log in. The servers are slow. He can't get his stuff loading up because we have taken over the bandwidth of all those sites. That's right. We got to do our part. You got to do your part. Even if you got to slip away during Thanksgiving and go take care of business for this team. In Auntie's, guest bedroom or something. Use the Kleenex. Probably use whatever you got to do.
You got to grab a doily off the table to help, clean up the mess. Whatever you got to do.
A what? Grab a what?
Isn't that what they call those things that like they get like crafted and they're on the table? Doilies.
A doily?
And that.
I thought you were gonna say a completely different word. Grab a dildo to get. I'm like, what? What are you doing at your aunt's house, dude?
Isn't that what that's called, bro? Those little fucking crocheted shits that are on the table that you can see through that's made in like little geometric patterns, doilies. Somebody help me out here. Come on.
You would wipe with something that's been crocheted?
Yeah, I wipe with worse. Come on. Thank you, Jonas. I didn't make that word up.
I don't even know what to say right now.
Jonas has used the doily or two.
Why don't you just use the fucking quilt? What are you talking about right now? The doily. What the fuck? Grab a doily on your way out.
Buck with your girl says, yeah, let me mute real quick. Like you tuned into this channel not expecting this.
Yeah. This is what they're called. But most men knowing that is considered weird. Bri nailed it. Yep. Wayne Poole says, yes, Stank. All right. Hey, listen. Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy y'all's meals. Fuck pecan pie. Fuck the Panthers. And we are thankful for you fuckers who are hanging out with us, watching this show on a Tuesday night. 81 of you, got 120 something of you on Twitter. Go Bucs.
Go Bucs.
It's kickoff, set it off. Go to Vegas, bet it all. Put it on the Bucs to win. Whoever they gon' play gon' fall. Don't say I ain't told y'all. Loose cannons gon' fold y'all. Yeah, the Heat be 9-3, but it gets real cold in the fall. That's when the season start. Bucs come in 40 hard.